And that's where we're focusing on this conversation about the leadership of the National Assembly. Of course, there's still reactions to the decision of the All Progressives Congress to have the offices, the principal offices, micro-zoned, that's what they call it, micro-zoned to certain people, but zoned to the certain regions, which they all agree with, but then there's the micro-zoning to certain people and names pushed out that they're all reacting to. And to help us in today's conversation, we have Eze Nwachukwueze, who's a newly elected member of the House of Representatives, representing Ebonyi Ohaoku Federal Constituency in Ebonyi State. He's a convener of the 10th Assembly Unity Group for the newly elected members. He's already doing his job. And a former chairman of the APC in Ebonyi State. We had also expected to have here in the studio Honorable Abdul Oro, who is a member of the Forum of Former National Assembly South Caucus, Parliamentary Directorate Secretary, APC Presidential Campaign Council, but he couldn't make it to the studio. Let's start with you, Honorable Eze. So, this decision by the leadership of your party to zone the principal offices to the regions that it did, you're happy with that?
Yes. So happy with that.
But your colleagues are not happy with the aftermath, the micro-zoning to certain individuals, contrary to what the Constitution says.
You see, let me come this way. First and foremost, thank you for having me on board in this discussion. Having served as the state chairman of our great party and the foundation member, at least to the extent of the state level management of the party, I know much about it. You see, a political party is like a family, a unit of a family. In the family where you have one thing that many members, children of the same house, are jostling for it, you take certain things into consideration. In this arrangement, the party laid a very strong foundation before this pronouncement. But because most of us politicians are sometimes driven by this passion to get things for ourselves. For example, immediately after the election, not too long from the election, after the election, we were all invited to the State House, had meeting with our party leadership. The vice president-elect represented the president-elect at his own capacity, the national chairman, and all of us, both the senators-elect and the House of Representatives-elect, both new and returning members. In that meeting, we had a kind of an agreement and a take-home message from the party, directly from the party chairman, and said, look, we have some pending elections. People should step down their interests in becoming whatever in the incoming leadership of the National Assembly, that we should hold on for the party to come up with a zoning formula. That was the instruction. And nobody objected to this. We saw that as a direction already given by the party. And the Foundation for Unity, one is expected to step down whatever interests or ambition you have and wait for the direction of the father and the leader of the house.
Oh, sorry, let me just come in here. That's what you call the strong foundation.
Yes.
Now, the argument, like for instance, the argument that came up yesterday from the Forum of Former National Assembly members is not, they're not questioning the zoning arrangement to the South-South and to the North-Central again and Southeast. They're not questioning that.
Yeah.
The concern
Northwest,
is,
I think.
Northwest, yeah, Northwest. The concern is why decide for certain individuals, put out names that these are the preferred or these are the candidates we want for this, when you should have allowed us to go and do our own election as the Constitution has mandated us to do. Isn't that what that's the argument?
The one way they are right, in the other way they should also put some consideration. To the extent they claim they are right is that we are left as the legislators with the mandate to choose our leaders ourselves. But what the party has done is should not be seen as imposition. Yes,
what should it be seen as?
It should be seen as a direction. The party have made a statement. This is what we wish. This is our thinking. As the father of the house, like I earlier said, this is our thinking. This is how we wish this should be. Do you know that? Because eventually, it's not going to end with what the party have said. We are still going to vote.
Let me relect. I mean, I really wish that, you know, this is supposed to be English,
it is a direction.
English language. You say it is a direction.
Not imposition.
Not imposition.
The party says, when you come to this zone,
yeah,
these are our preferred candidate. We wish. The party chairman will not be there.
The party did not say these are. I mean, if you go to, for instance, yesterday, people in the South zone, where the Senate presidency has interestingly been zoned to, you would have thought that, oh, they would actually be holding a meeting in support of the candidate. Instead, what they were complaining about is the micro-zoning of the position to an individual. That's what their complaint. So the party did not say, oh, we've zoned it to this particular region, these are our possible candidates. That's not what the party has done. The party has said this individual here is the person whom we prefer. That's what the party has said. So if that is not imposing its own wishes on its own members, what is it?
You see, why I said so, like I said, I've been a party chairman. The party will always come up to say, this is the zone, this is the individual. We wish, it is a wish. Nobody will force me that day or any other person to vote for Mr. A or Mr. B. But it's late for you as a loyal party man to follow the instruction of your party, because tomorrow, they're always the next day. It may be your turn.
The consequences of that, I mean, some people say you deal with the fallout, the consequences of that, because as some people said, freedom of speech is guaranteed. It's the freedom after the speech. that no one knows about. So yes, you can vote for whomever you like on the floor of the National Assembly. It's what happens thereafter. If the party's preferred candidate doesn't emerge, that, you know, members will have to face the wrath of. Isn't that correct?
Well, I may not agree with you, because you're voting, if supposing the person wishes to come back and goes back to the party, in between when you take this decision to vote against the party interest, there's still enough time for you also to do certain things that may please the party. But then we forget whatever you think you may have done. However, for me as an individual and as a party man, the head of the family, the father, the leader, when he says something, there must be reason behind what they have said. So maybe from the track records of the people, I have not been in the National Assembly. This is my first time. I do not know so much about.
But you have midwife people who have gone into the National Assembly. So you understand. The question then is, you're going into the National Assembly, or you're going to the Assembly, whether national or state assembly, because you're from the state. You're going in there to represent not the party. You're going there to represent a constituency that has different parties represented, right?
But you went there to a platform. You remember, you went there on a platform to represent your people. There must be a platform. And in that platform, most of these people, just a minute, most of these people enjoyed the blessing of the party during the primaries, one way or the other.
What's the blessing of the primaries, the blessing of the party during the primaries? What's the blessing?
During the primaries, the party, in some of the constituencies, like in our own, we met with the governor, met with stakeholders, and there are some consultations that were carried out, some screening unknown to us,
and some blessings.
However you may let's look at. And at the end of the day, today I'm enjoying that benefit.
Okay, I asked you. I said, you're going into the assembly to represent a constituency that has different parties, right?
Yes.
Different Nigerians from different political parties or interests.
Yes.
What if your constituency calls you and says, Mr. Eze, we do not want this person that your party has said. This is the person we want. What would you do?
Now,
at that point in time, would you listen to the party or to your constituency?
Let's take it this way. My party, my constituents elected me to represent them. It is for me to take the report back to them, to tell them, look, in our meetings or somehow, this is what came up, and I think the direction of the party is good. Not
but
them,
your constituent, not them telling you what they want.
At this moment now.
Oh, hold on. So you prefer, you will go with what the party is saying than what your constituents are telling you?
The constituents, as we speak now, in my constituency, may not know who is Mr. A or who is Mr. B and their antecedents, except if I'm coming from that background, if I'm coming from that constituency. Like, Huku, Ebonyi, federal constituency. You don't expect the masses there, the people that gave me this mandate, the local woman in the market, she doesn't know what we are talking about.
Are you sure?
And that constitutes, yes, and that constitutes the bulk votes that produce me. It's for me now, who they have given that mandate to represent them, to use my sense of reason to know that if I follow the path of the party, most likely my people are going to benefit, not the face.
Well,
not the face of the person.
What I see so far, Honorable Eze, I don't know whether it's okay to call you Honorable because you're Honorable to be. You haven't yet been inaugurated, even though you've been given your certificate of return. What I would like to know, first and foremost, you seem to be... Okay, I have a number of questions, maybe like 3 of them here already, but let me ask you the very first one. Are you okay with how your party has zoned the offices? The fact that, South-South gets Senate presidency, Northwest gets Deputy Senate President, the speakership has been zoned to the Northwest as well, and I think the Southeast gets the Deputy Speaker. So, Deputy Speaker, I am wondering, are you comfortable with the fact that the North Central has been left out?
Well, in the National Assembly, we have about 20 positions for both levels of the House of Reps and the House of Senate put together. The implication is that every zone is likely going to get about 3 positions equal, both from the minority and the majority levels. Now, from the way the party has done it, I think the North Central should hold on, because there's no way the party and the government will leave a whole zone like that, open that. There are other positions within the House that they will still get. There are also other appointments from the government that will still go to that place.
So you're sharing their concerns?
Yeah.
You're concerned
but I'm pleading with them to be a little bit patient with the government. Remember that the man elected as our president is also from the National Assembly. Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Senator Shetima, both of them are the product of the National Assembly and are conversant with the Nigerian challenges and problems. There's no way they can just throw away a whole zone like that.
You are very quick to say that what your party is doing is not imposition. Yeah. You seem to be uncomfortable with the word. You say what they want, and what they're saying is that they're showing their wishes.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
And they are also urging members
to go
that direction.
Why are you running away from the word imposition? Would it be wrong if the party were to impose its will on the people?
The word imposition sounds tyrannical. And it is not good in democracy. Yes.
So that's the reason why you're running, even though at the end of the day,
away from it.
The actions might mean exactly the same thing.
I'm telling you what is the state of affairs, not the word imposition. Because nobody among us have been compelled or forced.
The party,
if not those,
the party has no way. The party has no way.
Those who are campaigning now, those who are campaigning now should have been ordered by the party to stop. But even after the party has given their zoning, you have seen people who are interested, aspirants, declaring their intentions, and more will come.
Does the party have any way of compelling members to vote for a certain way or another? I just want to ask you.
We don't have.
There's no way. So if the party doesn't have it, some people will say that if there was a way the party could, they would have gone that way.
If there was a way
they could compel members.
But they don't have.
Some people argue that the party most likely would have. Your party most likely would have.
That is, the condition is that if they. But now I'm telling you, nobody in the party, including me when I was the state chairman, will compel someone. We force you to go in direction. No party does that. And our party, the All Progressives Congress, won't do that because we value our members and their interests so much.
All right, let's take this conversation to Lagos now.
Thank you, Mark. I must say that I think one of the first things that caught my attention was your choice of, dressing. It's remarkable, I must say, that you chose to, dress this way. It's like the dress code now for honorables in the nation's capital. But let's talk about, the conversation within your party as to whether or not to make the voting procedure, how people voted, whether or not to make it public. There's another conversation about, I don't know if you caught wind of that within your party, as to whether or not the Southeast actually deserves any seat for the principal offices of the National Assembly. It's a double-edged question, but first, are you willing or are you open to having how people voted made public so the party can see, Nigerians can see how people voted, and then the conversation about whether or not the Southeast deserves anything in the first place?
Well, on how the process of voting in the National Assembly, there is a standing rule, even before now, that has been in the House. So we are going to follow the rules. Whatever is the rule is what we are going to follow. If it is open ballot, if it's secret ballot, or whatever is contained in the rule, we are going to follow it. And whichever way you goes, voting is expression of one's feeling or desire for leadership. Therefore, everybody should be bold enough, courageous enough. If it is open ballot, voice vote, should be bold enough to make your choice and vote. Coming to the question of what the Southeast, whether the Southeast deserves the position of the Deputy Speaker, we deserve more than that. Some people have argued in some quarters that we didn't contribute much vote to the success victory of our party during the presidential and National Assembly election. Well, the number of votes we generated may be low, is low actually, in the real sense of it. But there are other factors that we contributed because our votes also counted. Two, we also did our best to stop some magic and rigging other parties planned to do, like the PDP, the Labour Party, and other parties. We did our best to ensure that it was not perfected. So Southeast as a zone have contributed a lot in the nation's development, if not in this dispensation, the previous dispensation, because Nigeria was existing before this 2023 elections. Well, so our effort and the deputy speakership slot zoned to us.
Yeah, yes. I mean, everyone has, a good number of people have spoken to that as well. But, my question, and I've asked this, of a number of people, gentlemen like yourself as well, who have come here and, spoken to Nigerians about what we are talking about, the 10th National Assembly's leadership race. Of how much significance would you, as a first-time legislator, say that this whole zoning arrangement for the leadership of the National Assembly, how much significance does it have to governance? How much impact will zoning a role or a leadership position to any region have on the governance or representation or the dividends of democracy that will come to that region? Is there any significance to you? Is there any impact of that on the region that is so represented?
It's my brother, it has so much impact. First and foremost, the zoning solves a lot of problems, especially in this dispensation. This immediate election has, you and Nigerians all know that it has further divided us. So zoning will ensure equitable distribution of positions to zones. And in doing so, every zone will have a sense of belonging. Every zone we feel remembered. Every zone we have some people to hold accountable. Those the representatives will do their best to project the government and the party in a good light within their zones and ensure that democratic dividends goes to their zone. So the impact is innumerable. It is the best so far that has happened.
Mr. Ete, the 10th Assembly is going to be inaugurated in a few weeks. It's June 13, if I read that correctly. What will be the first thing amongst you who's you already convened a group, unity group for the newly elected members? What will be the first thing that you will be targeting in terms of bills that you're going to be proposing, for instance? What will be the first bill that you and your group are going to sponsor to see Nigeria move forward?
Well, bills come up from different angles.
For example, going to the National Assembly, we are going to support to represent your people.
Yes.
Did you have any bills, anything, any areas you're thinking you're going to push out there so that government can get it together and get it right, legally backing for the people?
Yes. In my zone, in my area, my constituency, for example, and my own local government, we have this long age war between my people and the Agila people. And I will tell you that before now, the people who represented us have not done anything meaningful to ensure that peace exists in those areas. Immediately after election, the first thing I did was to get in touch with my counterpart.
What has been causing the conflict?
Land dispute.
So what would you do? Or what bill? How would you, is it a bill? Is it arbitration? What would you do to ensure that conflict ends?
What we are already doing is to use this position, our position, to get our people to know that peace is the best, and which have started. Right. Secondly, we are going to get the attention of the government to put some development structures in those areas, like the link between my place. You will be surprised. The road from my place, one market called Okwo, to Benue State, is less than 25 kilometers.
All right, thank you, Honorables. We'll have to end it there. We've been speaking with Eze Nwachukwu Eze, who's a member-elect of the House of Representatives, representing Ebonyi Ohauku Federal Constituency in Ebonyi State, and convener of the 10th Assembly Unity Group for the newly elected members. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
He was also a former state chairman of the APC.